All right, everybody, good evening. How are we doing? Oh, I just want to say real quick, my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, that the stories I've heard so far this evening are amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, being authentic, and being so vulnerable. I have a dancer in my family, so thank you for sharing that. I was looking right at her when you were talking about your story, so I just wanted to share that real quick. So thank you again. My name is James Smith, and I have the honor to be here tonight. And I grew up on the west side of Rochester. So West Main, Brown Street, Genesee Street. I'm sure some of you guys know the area, and that you do know. Amen. Amen. And as resilient as that neighborhood is, we also know there's some challenges there to this very day. But when I was a young man, growing up in that area, I think about there are four of us, the three other friends I grew up with. One I can't find to this very day. One, I know where he is, and he won't be coming out of there. And the other took his life because of the surroundings and the challenges he was facing. So I want to paint the picture for a second so you understand my story. The four of us were very bright kids. Each of us in the Major Achievers program in the RCSD. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for your service. So any of us could be standing here before you today telling their story. But I'm here to share mine for them as well. So in that community, my mother was an amazing woman, absolutely amazing woman. 2 jobs, not one, 2 jobs. Taking care of me and my elderly grandfather. An amazing man, but he was older. WW2 vet, one of the first African Americans to get the call to say, hey, you ready? And he tells that story, and I know it's inappropriate. He talked about Jerry's. I know that's inappropriate. It's not culturally competent. I understand that. But to be authentic to my grandfather, he was so excited to go fight Nazis. And when they finally got a chance after being talked to in certain ways by his brothers that were not black, he was so excited. He shared that story. So when he was ill and he was on that couch, and I sat with him when I was a child, he would tell me that story about, I put my name on every bridge I could find. It was a very powerful thing to hear him speak. Now, my mother had those 2 jobs for both of us. And the reason that is because my biological father was a Rolling Stone. Y'all know that, right? Yeah, just rolling. I do believe I have a dozen brothers and sisters out here in the world. They may be here tonight. Lord forgive me. I'm trying to find them, honestly, because he just, where's his hat laid, right? Where's his home? So she had to figure out how to take care of me and my grandfather. With that, in that community, there was those challenges. Elderly grandfather, who was an amazing man, but wasn't able to be the role model that I needed him to be as I walked to and from school and then rode that bus to and from school. Seeing my mother struggle each and every day, not seeing her sometimes. When I say see her struggle, I see her come home at night, I'm still awake and she's crying. Knowing that bills are not getting paid. Knowing that we're using my name to pay the TV bill or my social security number. Y'all know about this. Some of y'all might know about this. So we can get the cable so my grandfather can watch the cable. Because he's sick and he needs to see something, right? Keep his mind occupied. So as she's doing that, I'm sitting there watching her struggle mightily to take care of us both. And I'm seeing on every other block in my neighborhood individuals that look like me, dressed very well, with really good sneakers on, the kicks, looking good. I had the Bobos, y'all. I'm not sure if y'all know about the Bobos, but that was tough. In RCSD, School 17, you can't roll in Bobos and you're going to hear about it. But they look real good. And when you pass them, what's up? What's up? Oh, man, them shoes, bruh. They would point out things. And then it was still a small community, so people talked. They knew we were struggling. So I'm watching my mother, I'm watching my grandfather, I'm seeing these dudes, and I'm thinking to myself, damn, Lord forgive me, I'm sure I can, he says I can just carry this bag. I can just take this bag and drop this bag off, and I'll get something, and then I can take part of that with me, and then I can keep some of it for my mom. So I'm thinking about it, but you know what? I don't want to do it. I really don't. I do not want to do it. So, I say no thank you. But we don't say it like that. You don't say it like that in the streets. You try your best, and when they want you, they want you. And so they switch gears. And so to the younger members of the group, of these organized groups, because remember now, these gentlemen were still role models. Because absence of a positive role model, a negative role model will step in and will cultivate and steward you and bring you down that path. So they didn't work on me, big bro and them didn't work on me. So the young ones on my school bus, to and from Jefferson Middle School at the time, back of the bus, yo, Jay, we're going to tear you up. You're going to either come roll with us or we're going to make you suffer every single day until you say yes. Good Lord, that's a lot of pressure to have on you. So, I love my bus driver. God bless her. And I told Julia this. I cannot remember her name to save my life, but this amazing woman knew the struggles I was going through, and therefore she would let me come to the front of the bus. Come on, baby. Come on. Boy, sit down to the other kids. Sit down. I said, sit down. Baby, come here. You ready? Yes, ma'am. Now I'm going to open this door, and you're going to have to haul your backside. But I know you can do it. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm ready. Yes, ma'am. Backpack tight, y'all. Backpack is tight. Let's go. That door opens and my backside is gone. I am down the street over two back fences through Mr. Sam's yard to my house every single day. Now, that helped me become an athlete. I played 3 sports. So, you find the positive and the negative, right? Because you do. But Lord, forgive me. Damn, I was tired of running. Because every time I run home, I would see my mother still struggling. So nothing's changing there. I'm just running. So now I started getting weak. Mentally, I started getting weak in my sense. Now, it's not a weakness. It's just where you think you are in that time. You're 12 years old. Lord have mercy. You're making decisions about being a man at 12. So I started to contemplate this. And God knew I was thinking hard about it because he sent me one of those teachers. Come right into my life through a blind date with my mother. Now, Lord knows, I don't know how she had time for the blind date because the woman was working 2 jobs. Now, how in the world could she find time for 2? But she did. And she brought him home after maybe 2 blind dates. And he looked right at me. And he sized me up real quick. Young man, how you doing? What's up? Wrong choice of words. Because this man was an ex-Special Forces Green Beret. We're going to try again, young man. How are you doing, sir? I'm well. I'm okay. Yes, sir. I began to understand this was a different kind of man. He told me a little about his story. I had an immediate switch in my mind because he served our country like my grandfather did. And so all of a sudden, it just elevated from, this dude trying to date my mom's to he comes with a level of respect that I need to be aware of. And boy, I tell you, from that moment on, he would come around not just to see my mom. He would come to see me. How are we doing in school? Math is giving me a hard time. To this day, my wife knows, KJ knows, she's an amazing teacher of math. My daughter knows, Mia, how you doing? Math's not my thing. Okay, let's talk about it. How are we doing at school? Well, I'm still running from the bus because I did share that with him over time. Well, that's a problem because you have a bright future. God has planned for you. So we got to figure this out. This man took me and my mother and moved us to a completely different community so I could stop running from that damn bus. Lord, forgive me. Sorry, baby, I'm cussing. He took us, and they were still dating, y'all. It wasn't even like that. And said, I believe in what I see in his eyes. He saw my heart. He saw I was a big softy. He did. He saw how much I loved my mom and my grandfather. And so he moved us and put me in a place where I can focus on school. I mean, y'all, come on now, just to wake up every day and to get on the bus and go to school and to learn something and not to worry about the other stuff. He was available to me on a regular basis. I pick up a phone, I call him, he comes see me. Hell, I had my first high school fight. I called him, I said, I don't know, I don't want to hurt this dude. I don't want to fight him. What do I do? He came and showed me how to actually use defensive techniques to not hurt him, but to put him down carefully so we could end the altercation. I tell you about this man and why he's my teacher and the life lessons he taught me, partly because he showed me so much. He showed me how to be a man. He showed me how to treat a woman. He showed me how to be a father. I could not be who I am today without him in my life. And the best part of this story is he fell in love with my mom. He married her, and they are happily retired in Florida, enjoying the warm weather, except for the hurricanes. Dr. Reverend Anderson, my father, in Florida, ministering to others, is still available to me each and every time I need him, if it's for a call or a text, to guide me, to make sure I remember what's really important. That's why I became the man I am today. The chosen field I picked, how I worked to be a mentor for others, because I knew those three friends and me at the beginning of this journey, there was no different. Every single one of those guys had the same potential, if not more than I did. They had, and I had somebody. So I've dedicated my career, my mission, my ministry to being that person, to being that Chris Anderson for the next person, for my kids, to be that man for my wife, thank you so much, KJ, and for the individuals out in our community. Thank you so much for letting me share my story.